Hello there guys, welcome to the Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures YouTube channel. I trust that you are all well, and welcome to today's pilot video, which is the 9C from Kidderminster to Cornsall via Wolverley. So what we're doing, we are just going past the Kidderminster Library and also the Kidderminster Wilkinson store and going on over the River Stour, which is the smallest river that starts in the Clent Hills. So we're now doing a sharp right, and what we're going to do, we're going to go past the old Morrison store, turn left at the island which is by Compton Hill, past the old War Forest Glades Leisure Centre and Arena, through the Horse Fair, then go down to Broadwaters, climb up the steepest hill, Sign Hill, and then once we get to the top, and at the end of the road, we're going to do a left through the hamlet of Wolverley, go round the Fairfield Estate area, go back on ourselves past the Lock-In pub, and then go straight back past Sign Hill, down the hill and onto part of the A449, which goes along towards Wolverhampton. Then we're going to go through the Cuckley and Cornsall areas, and then go back onto the A449, back to Broadwaters, and then go back through the Horse Fair, down through the Swan Shopping Centre, and then back into Kidderminster Bus Station. This video footage was covered in the year 2021, so as you know, this is an amazing video and it's an amazing rural service to operate in Kidderminster. There is another rural service in Kidderminster. There's quite a handful of services to try out for those people or bus spotters who are watching this channel who've never been to Kidderminster before, but I'm sure most of you have. You haven't just got only the 9 and 9A, 9A, 9C, which goes to Cuckley and Cornsall. You have got a 3 days a week service, 580 from Kidderminster to Kinvat in South Staffordshire. You've got the 125 Stourbridge to Bridge North, 297 Kidderminster to Bridge North. The 297 is run by Arriva Midlands North. You've got Finesse Travel 133 to Droitwich Spa, which also runs 3 days a week. You've got the 52 from Kidderminster to Redditch. You've got the 303 from Kidderminster to Worcester. You have got the peak time 294 from Kidderminster to Worcester through Stourport. You got the 15A and 15C, which also goes Kidderminster to Stourport area. And then of course you got the 3, which doesn't do much of a country area, that goes to Harley Kings. You also got the 8 from Rother Range round to Hales Park, but however the 8 is currently unsustainable at current passenger levels along with the 52, but I will let you know when there's updates regarding to those services. As well as all those services, you've got town services like the 10s from Kidderminster to the Spennels and the Offmore Circular, and the 7 from Kidderminster to Sign Hill. There's also another rural service to try, the 192 from Kidderminster to Hales Owen, and of course out on the Bromsgrove area you've got the 182, 183 from Bromsgrove to Redditch, which only runs Mondays to Fridays. 202 from Hales Owen to Bromsgrove, along with the 147. You've got the 318 from Bromsgrove down to up to Stourbridge. 144 from Catshill to Worcester. 145 Rubery Longbridge to Droitwich Spa and Webbs of Wychbold. You've got the local services as well in Bromsgrove. I've got the 144A, which goes to Longbridge, which is now run by National Express West Midlands. And of course, as back into Kidderminster area, you've got the 291 from Kidderminster over to Tenbury Wells. And of course, you've got the 292 from Kidderminster over to Ludlow. And then in Starport, you got the 296 from Bewdley to Worcester. And out in Redditch, you've got the 150 that goes to King's Heath. It used to go to Birmingham years ago. And of course, you've got the 149 to Worcester. So you've got a Worcester service in Redditch. Of course, you've now got the Save 247 to Evesham. Quite a few of the routes have been taken, is being withdrawn. Well, the 67's withdrawn, and of course, the Solihull services are now being withdrawn, except the A1 and A2. So there's quite a handful of services that are being withdrawn, but most have been saved. And of course, as well as that, in Bridgnorth, you've got loads of other rural services, like you've got the 8 to Telford, 113s, 114s to Telford as well, 436 to Shrewsbury, 9s over to Wolverhampton. And in Telford, you've got the 5s up to Stafford, X5s up to Shrewsbury, and the 19 service. And then in Shrewsbury, you've got the 511 to Whitchurch, you've got the 64 to Market Drayton and to Hanley, and the 435 down to Ludlow. And of course, you've got the 544 that goes to Little Lith, which is Lith Hill, which is on the other side of Shrewsbury in a bit of a countryside area. So there are quite a few good services to try in most areas. And over in Cannock, you've got the 74s to Stafford, the 875 to Stafford. You've got the 3 that goes to Brownhills. You've got the 60 to Lichfield and the 62 to Lichfield. The 67 to Wolverhampton, 70 and 71 to Wolverhampton. Of course, you've got the X51 that goes to Birmingham. And of course, over in Stafford, you've got services to Wolverhampton, Uttoxeter, Hanley, which is in Stoke-on-Trent. And of course, you've got services to Lichfield and Telford over there. So there is quite a few areas that I've been to over the network. And over in Coventry, you've got services to Rugby, Leicester, Nuneaton, Leamington Spa, Stratford-upon-Avon. Soon they're going to be losing Solihull unless an alternative operator takes it over, and I will let you know when it is official eventually. So please stay tuned for that, guys, here on Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. So I'll let you know when there is going to be some major changes to the routes that are happening out there regarding everything. So there are quite a few routes that have been withdrawn this year, but some have been saved. And of course, you've got so many exciting routes to come very soon. So then we're now going along towards Wolverley. So there's the turn-off point to Cookley, which is usually closed for roads resurfacing these days. And there's the Lock-In pub, and there's the Crazy Golf. And on the right-hand side will be Wolverley Church, and there's the turn-off point, which is called the Blakesall Lane. It goes up a lane towards the Drakelow Junction. It carries on, and then it comes to a sharp bend where there's a one-armed telegraph pole. And then it goes past Blakesall Farm, through Blakesall, and then goes past the Kimver Edge Palm Shop, and then goes to the maze bit at Kimver Edge, the top of Kimver Edge, and then one route goes past the church, and then one then goes down a slope, and then comes into the village of Kimver in South Staffordshire. The 580 service, however, does not cover that area. Well, it does not cover the Blakesall area. There was a service that used to go down that way, and that was the service number 9, but that was withdrawn back in the Midland Red days and was replaced by the 580 service from Kidderminster to Kimver. So here we go, we're going along right now, so we shall soon be approaching the turn-off point where we're going to go around the Fairfield Estate. So the Fairfield Estate's going to be coming along. So Fairfield Estate. So coming along is the turn-off point where the 580 goes down towards the Kingsford, down the Slad, which goes to Kinver. So there's the turn-off point there. So we are going along. So we're coming back into Wolverley, but we're covering the Fairfield Estate. So we're covering the Fairfield Estate, and then we'll be proceeding back into Wolverley, and then we're going to go across to the A449 service that goes between Worcester and Wolverhampton. So we're just going through a housing estate area now in Wolverley. So we're going through a housing estate. So this is also covered by the 580 service from Kinver. The 580 is only a twice a day service that operates between Kinver and Kidderminster. So it starts on Brockley's Walk and then goes through Kinver High Street. Then it goes up towards Potter's Cross, then goes past the Rock Houses, Kinver Edge Rock Houses, then goes through Kingsford area. It goes round these little tight lanes and then turns off, and then it comes out into the open. It comes back into the open when it gets to Wolverley, because as you know, it's more of a woodland route, as you would like to refer it as. And then it goes back into a bit of woodland, down the Sign Hill, past part of the road that goes up to the Land Oak, and then goes down a little estate into the Horse Fair, through the Swan Centre, and then into the town of Kidderminster, which goes into Kidderminster bus station. And then at Kidderminster bus station, the service terminates. And of course, the service runs 9 o'clock from Kidderminster. That's the first service. Gets into Kinver for 9:30, and then leaves Kinver round about 25 to 10, and then gets back into Kidderminster for 10:10, and that is the morning service. The afternoon service departs at 1 o'clock, just after lunchtime. Gets into Kinver for 1:30, and then gets back to Kidderminster. Then leaves Kinver at 25 to 2. Leaves Kinver at 25 to 2 once again, and then gets back into Kidderminster for 2:10, which is in the afternoon, referred to as 14:10. So that is the time at those are the times of the 580. And of course, it used to run 6 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But since 2018, when Coniston, which used to operate in the Kidderminster area, they reduced it to 3 days a week, meaning they no longer ran the service Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. Instead, it went Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, but the timetable remained the same. And then when Coniston ended, Diamond returned to the service, but they kept the timetable and the days correct. But it is a shame that they no longer run it on Saturday, because it was a handy service. But however, it's now down to what is happening in the near future to certain bus routes. As you know, the 580 has kept on going even through the devastating time when we had the COVID-19 pandemic. The service has been maintained, so it has carried on operating. So it is subsidised by Worcestershire County Council. Most of the paid routes have carried on, but however, most of the commercial services have been hit hard by the pandemic. So they had to receive subsidy from the council and the Transport for West Midlands to keep those services afloat, because it was crucial to keep all services afloat as well. So the 202, that got suspended during the first COVID lockdown, and alongside the 303 from Kidderminster to Worcester, and then later the 2 from Kidderminster to Hales Park. So the 303 was the first service to get saved, Kidderminster to Worcester, because it was offered a subsidy from the council. And then later, the 2 got saved, but however, that remained commercial, because due to the fact that service had to give another lifeline. And then towards the end of the year, just after the second national lockdown, which was a time-limited one, the 202 then got saved, and it received a subsidy from the council as well. So that is really great that the council stepped in to reinstate the bus routes and save the vital services. The 202 was replaced by the 44 service through Northfield for a short time, but however, it was nothing like the 202. It actually went a different route, so none of it was on the same line. Well, most of it was not on the same line at all. So there was quite a few routes being messed about. The 519, which is the Shrewsbury to Newport service, that service no longer exists. That's now a school service, so that means it's no longer used for the general public. And that's a shame, because I really like that route. It was a handy link between Shrewsbury and Newport. And however, they did reduce the service to a Saturday. They took the Saturday service off, and then it just went bang, end of the line. And that was a good service, because that route was hit hard most of all during the pandemic. So quite a few routes have been hit hard during the pandemic. Some of them had never have returned because they remained empty. There's quite a few routes that is no longer running, like the 146 Birmingham to Redditch. That now sits empty. That's no longer a service anymore. Quite a few other services have gone. The 3 that used to go to Walsall, that no longer exists. The 2's gone, which used to go Huntington to Walsall, but Huntington's been reinstated. The Doggingtree estate, it's going to run to Great Worley as the 1, because the 1's going to be once again reintroduced, but no longer running to Walsall. Cannock will only have one service now, only has one service to Walsall now, the X51 that goes to Birmingham. So there's quite a few routes that have been hit hard over the last few years due to COVID. So and this could be like this in years, but we'll have to see what's going to happen in years to come. Passenger recovery, we have quite a few there's quite been a few passenger recoveries in certain areas, but hopefully by this time next year we should be back to full recovery from the pandemic, because this year is going to start to recover after the devastating times we've had by the coronavirus. Because when we first went into lockdown in the year 2020, we started to clap for the NHS to help save, to thank them for helping to save us during those hard times that we had to face. Because it was a difficult time, and it was a stressful, emotional time, and it stopped us doing stuff that we all love to do. Like, it stopped me doing this YouTube channel, Jersbus Train Plane Lift Adventures, because the YouTube channel was hit hard during the COVID-19 pandemic, but I started to maintain, and I'm starting to pick back up and build back better with exciting and new videos yet to come. So you can just ignore that background noise and anything else that was in this video, so just ignore whatever thing was going on. So anyway, let's carry on with the journey on the 9C from Kidderminster to Cornsall via Wolverley. Enjoy.